I think some of it comes down to the issue of most of these algorithms are still coming out of academia, for
Yeah.
better or for worse. And grad students have to publish. And so you'll have a grad student or a postdoc that writes a great new algorithm for either their or their lab mate's data set. And then the grad student or postdoc leaves. And this is actually something that was brought up by Tyler Burns and Thomas Holt at the Berlin Mass Cytometry meeting, is that this idea of software being its own project and being its own research, and the idea that more than one person in a lab is going to be working on something and maintaining something. I think Tyler gave the example from RNA-seq where he said that there's an entire lab that's built around the maintenance and bug fixing and improvement of the Seurat algorithm
Yes.
for single-cell RNA-seq. Ideally, something like that would start with cytometry analysis as well. I understand that there's a lot of funding issues around this. It can be hard to pitch that to funding agencies, let alone maintaining software engineers at academic salaries. This is particularly a big issue in the Bay Area
Hmm.
with all of the big tech firms here. Postdocs and even staff scientists regularly leave for industry because they can get 50 to 200% salary increase. But I think that I think it's something that academia really needs to be thinking about more, because it's also just incredibly frustrating when you find a package useful and then after a year or two, all of the R package updates for the dependencies wind up breaking the algorithm.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that that's a basic problem. Even something that's relatively widely used like CyTOF kits. About a year ago, Bioconductor took it off because it wasn't sort of being actively maintained and updated. And there is a CyTOF kit 2 that you can find, but as far as I can tell, that's still in a development phase rather than a public release phase.
Yeah, it's still on GitHub, but not on Bioconductor.
Yeah. So, and that's something that a lot of, like a very large number of people use.
Hmm.
And it's sort of being maintained, but I don't know that it's being actively maintained. Certainly not in the way that, a commercial package would be.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head where you said that it's an academic lab and they're guided by funding and by how to get the next grant. And unfortunately, maintaining software is not that. There's actually an initiative either from the Chan Zuckerberg initiative or from one of these similar funds where they're going to fund open source projects. And the grant application is, we have an open source project and here's the plan on how to maintain it for the next 3 years, give us money.
And I think that that's fantastic.